We'll let you get started. Why don't you just tell us how the first practice went, and then let these guys ask you a few questions, then we'll let you get on your day.
All right. I think the first practice was fun. It's fun out there being in football again because, we was out there in the quarantine for a long time. So, we was out there throwing to ourselves during the quarantine. So it's fun actually being able to get thrown to by a quarterback and actually out there competing with all my friends.
Yeah, Demoria, just kind of what has your off season been like leading up to this day? You bring up passing yourself, but just kind of what have you done specifically?
Well, when I was back home, I had to just find like ways to work out. I was working out at home. I was like doing squats with backpacks. I was catching balls by myself, just jump roping, doing whatever I can to stay in shape, and just trying to stay ready.
What's the motivation?
Just want to be a champion, trying to make it to the next level one day.
Demoria, it's one thing talking with a new coach. It's another finally getting to go out there and get to practice with him. Just what have you liked about Coach Petrino so far in the style that he's attacking the ball with?
The thing I like about Coach Petrino, he just likes me. He just wants me to play football. Like I can just don't have to worry about anything else. I can just go out there and have fun, just play football, and just let everything loose when I get on the field.
Was there a new appreciation, I guess, for football? When you had to wait kind of longer and had to kind of do things on your own this summer. Do you find that you appreciate it a little more?
Yeah, it kind of makes you appreciate it a little more because you never know. Yeah, like if we're gonna have a season, so if like it just makes you want to play more. It just have you a little antsy to play.
Yeah, just kind of, you guys have to be under some new rules and maybe in some new kind of like restrictions right now. I'm sure coach has some rules that he's given you guys. I don't know what are kind of some of those things that you guys are having to do differently right now than you might not have had to in a normal season like last year.
Yeah, really the hard part is just trying to keep distance from everybody. Because, like, when someone makes a good play or, like, something happens, you want to go over and, like, congratulate your teammate to kind of, like, cheer them on. But it's hard because you got to stay away from them. And then, like, with the mask, it's a new thing. You got to get used to it. Like, with the breathing and it's kind of tough to breathe sometimes, but you just got to get used to it.
How safe do you feel with all these new precautions and everything? How impressed have you been with what Missouri State's kind of implemented here? I don't know how long you've been here, if you were a part of those voluntary workouts or whatnot.
I feel like the coaches and everybody's doing their best to try to keep us safe. So I feel safe. I feel like they won't put our health in danger or anything else. So I feel safe.
What's kind of the vibe? What's kind of the vibe around the team right now, just with how different things are? Just what's kind of the overall feel with everybody going into the season?
Well, it's people might have their own opinions, and like a couple people might be scared here and there, but it's just gonna come with it with the virus. Like we don't really know like how to like adapt to it, because it's just new. So we just all got to get used to it, and I feel like everybody's just ready to play football. Like everybody just misses football and just wants to be out there playing. So we'll do whatever it takes to be out there playing.
In addition to kind of the health side of it, there was the worry that maybe you guys would find it a bit harder to be in shape by the time these practices came around. You mentioned the workouts you've been doing just on your own. How do you feel at this time this year versus kind of how you felt last year in a far more normal process?
Even though we had a quarantine and stuff, I still feel like I probably feel like I'm in better shape than I am last year, just because like we was doing the voluntary workouts. Coach E did a good job of getting everybody in shape, I feel like, and I just pushed myself real hard to get myself in shape.
How prepared do you think this team can be just 4 weeks from today? You guys are scheduled to play a football game in Norman, just with having to install a new offense and a bunch of new things like that. Just how prepared do you guys think that you can put a lot of that stuff in to get ready for a game in just 4 weeks?
I feel like we'll do a good job of putting everything in. Our coaches demand excellence from us, so I feel like we'll get everything down in time, and we just gotta take it day by day. Like every practice, we got to come out there and just execute our plays a little better every day.
With installing that new offensive system, do you feel like you're having to learn a lot all at once on this first day, or?
Nah. Ever since Coach Petrino's been here, we've been kind of going over it. We've been like over the quarantine. We've been having Zoom meetings, and like that. The Zoom meetings really help because it got a chance for us to not like be on the field. We can just sit there and just learn everything and ask questions if we have any questions.
What's he been like, the new coach? I mean, he puts on a nice smile for us and everything, but how's the players and stuff behind the scenes?
Hey, I mean, I think Coach Petrino is doing a good job. I feel like he's not too crazy on us, but he does what he needs to get us going.
Obviously, a lot of change came with him. One of the main ones a lot of people focused on is the quarterback battle. I'm just curious kind of what you think about that group. A lot of new names, some familiar names. Just what have you thought about the quarterback group so far?
I like the quarterback so far. Jaden Johnson, he's been doing a good job ever since he came in. All the other quarterbacks, they doing a good job of taking everything in, because we got a big offense, so it's a lot for the quarterbacks to take in. So I feel like they're doing a good job of handling everything and adjusting to everything that's going on.
I was able to talk to Jaden back in April, and he said he wanted to come in and be that leader for you guys from the second he was able to start interacting with you guys. Have you noticed that even from a redshirt freshman?
Yeah. Ever since Jaden been here, he's been having a good voice on the team. He's been stepping up, trying to take control of everything, and that's the kind of quarterback that we need on this team, is someone who's going to voice their opinions and step up and take control of our offense.
Any other questions for DeMaurier? All right. Thank you so much for your help. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, DeMaurier. Nice to see you guys.
Nice to see you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. We'll let Kevin Ellis settle in, and then Kevin, welcome. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. Why don't you just start us off by just telling us how you thought the first day of practice went today, and then we'll shoot it around for a few questions, okay?
Yes, sir. I thought the first practice went good today. I thought it went well. It was great to be back out there with my guys, with my brothers, and around the new coaching staff. I think we'll be pretty good.
Yeah, Jaden, just coming into being able to practice right now, just as it just felt like a long time coming, or just kind of what went into your excitement to actually get out there on the field today?
I was very excited to be back out there. I mean, we all been waiting to be back out there, but of course this quarantine stuff been going on, so it felt real great to be back out there.
I asked DeMaurier the same thing, but I mean, it's one thing you got a new coach coming in, just communicating with him in Zoom calls and everything. Another to finally be able to get out there and get a full practice kind of going. Just what are your thoughts on Petrino specifically, and how do you like him so far?
Oh yeah, I love Coach Petrino. He's been a great coach. I like the energy he's brought to the team and all that. It's been a real good vibe around here.
How has that how has that vibe changed? Just having him here.
I mean, it's just like we just connected. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody just loving football. It's just all football and that winning mindset. That's what we need.
Obviously, I'm sure you guys are keeping an eye on, different football conferences and stuff. And what's just kind of the conversation approaching this season about just staying positive and being hopeful that, you guys get to play, especially that game against OU?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on right now in today's world. I mean, we just got to do what we can do. Just keep working, put our head down, and just be ready for whatever.
Does it kind of blow your mind right now to think 4 weeks from today, you guys are scheduled to be playing in Norman, Oklahoma?
Yeah, it is. It is kind of crazy, but I mean, hey, when them helmets strapped up, it's time to go, ready to play.
Obviously, there have been a lot of barriers to leading up to that game. Just how confident do you feel in yourself and in the team that you guys will be prepared 4 weeks from now to play that game?
Oh, I'm very confident. I know we'll get it together. I know everything's gonna work together. I think we'll be fine.
With the Big 12, they haven't made an announcement yet on what they're going to do about this season. Do you find yourself anxious, flipping through Twitter all the time, seeing if that game's still going to be on? What's kind of that been like for you?
I mean, I don't really too much. Me personally, I don't too much worry about that. I just come to work every day, just prepare myself, and I'm be ready for whatever.
And obviously, we don't know what it's like to be an athlete right now in this time. So just how just like weird is just what kind of things do you just think about daily going through a pandemic as you're trying to prepare for a season, individually and as a team, and just all that?
I mean, it can be a lot, but I mean, it's just how things are right now, and that's the risk we take with playing football. I mean, I love football, so I'm down for it.
You got a lot of new pieces on that defensive line. Just how a lot of new big guys this year. It seems like a lot of new size. Just how impressed have you been with the new guys who have come in?
I love them. I think we got some great guys that'll really help us out a lot.
I know Isaiah Sales has kind of been one that Bobby's kind of been a little high on this offseason. Just what has impressed you about him?
Oh, he just worked hard. I think he'll really help us out a lot. He's gonna be a great player.
I'm curious about Keyshawn Parker as well, a new name that's gotten some attention. Just what have you seen from him?
Oh, Keyshawn, he been picking up on things well. He been real vocal out there, picking up on the plays and stuff.
How is that? We all get to see your mask today, the new visors and everything. Are those more annoying? We have some photos of your guys' visors fogging up. How's that been?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different, but I mean, in today's world, I mean, that's how things are right now. So that's just one of the things we got to go with. We'll be all right.
Are there any like weird restrictions coach has on you? We saw Tennessee said no partying for its students and stuff yesterday. What kind of restrictions does coach kind of have on you guys behind the scenes?
I mean, we just gotta be smart. I mean, we can't be in like a lot of big crowds and stuff like that. We gotta be careful going out, and you know what I'm saying, just keeping our social distancing and make sure we're taking care of ourselves and taking care of our teammates.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much. We appreciate your time, and we'll let you get on with your day. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you,
Kevin.
Stay healthy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
If Leo has any question at any point, feel free to just let him ask.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, Coach?
Good.
Good. Why don't you start with just a kind of a general statement about how today's practice went, and then we'll shoot it around for a few questions.
Well, it was fun to be out there. That's for sure. I think all the players were anxious to be able to get on the field and work at something that they really enjoy doing. I know as coaches, we were excited to get out there. We had really planned on starting on Friday, but we decided to do one more test for everybody and get those results before we went back out there. So, and then we'll be able to test once a week. So everyone understands that they're out there on the field with someone playing against or next to that has tested positive. So I think that helps their comfort zone. There's no question that there's fear involved with some of our guys and players, coaches, staff, everybody, the fear of the unknown. So we're very fortunate that we've got an athletic director and a president that have allowed us to test every week and give us the opportunity to be out there playing.
Yeah, Coach, I'm sure you had to be like a little kid on Christmas, just kind of coming into the day, finally getting out there with this team. Now that you've kind of seen them in a practice, just kind of what your first impressions of the guys you're taking over?
Yeah, there's no question. We got a lot of work to do as far as all getting on the same page and, everybody understanding what we're trying to do. It's been a long go as far as meetings and installs and repeating them. And I think our players got tired of it. And I don't think there's any doubt we've had more meetings than you've ever had before, simply because of the rules that were in place, that you had more access on Zoom meetings. So I think they were tired of meetings, and it was time to get out and see it. But I think they understand a lot. They know a lot about, what we're doing. They just haven't experienced it physically. So we've got to get that experience, and we've got to understand, what we're good at, what we need improvement at, what we're not so good at. But I thought they came out with a great attitude, and they worked extremely hard in our individual drills. We hooked up in a little blitz period, and we hooked up a little bit in team. And there's a lot to clean up there. But the communication was good, and the defensive guys that are supposed to be making calls and talking were doing a good job of that. And I thought for the first day out there, our quarterback crew did a pretty good job. I think we're going to be talented at receiver. I like our receivers, and I think that's a group that is going to have to make plays for us to be successful.
Coach, when you come in, new staff, a lot of new names in the players, there's kind of room for new leaders to step up. I'm curious if anyone's really caught your attention as someone who's stepping up early to try and push this team forward.
Yeah, well, the two guys that were in here, that we brought in here today, Vic and Ellis, I think are doing an excellent job for us. I really like Murray moving to wide receiver. I think he provides a guy that can really run routes and catch balls, and the size and mismatches that he'll have. And he seems to really like it and has shown good leadership there. Zach Sanders has done a nice job in leading in the secondary, and he's kind of the enthusiastic, energized bunny guy that really, likes to play with the motion and hustle and fire. And I think that'll help us. As long as it's focused in the right direction and he doesn't get distracted and stuff, because sometimes that can happen. But it is kind of a thing to get to know each other. A lot of times what you do is you come in the first day of practice, you vote on captains. And we talked about maybe doing that. And then we thought, well, let's give it 2 weeks and let these guys be out on the field with each other and see who takes over the leadership, because we do have a lot of new guys too that have never been out on the field together. So I think you got to be able to see who the leaders are, not just announce who they are.
How smooth was the transition today, with everything considered?
Not bad, not bad at all. We decided to go this morning. Yesterday when we got the results of the testing back, which were very good. We were really excited about that. And then our guys, we had special teams meeting early this morning, then position meetings, and went out on the field. And we've had some walkthroughs. So the guys were used to kind of how the routine would be and where we would move around. And those really helped us. I think it would have been a little helter-skelter if we hadn't had walkthroughs before and people understood what the name of drills were and what the purpose was. And so it moved pretty smooth for the first day. It'll get harder on them. The more we put in and the tireder they get, the more challenge there is to be able to, focus and do things right when you're tired and sore. And it's not the first day. First day is easy.
On the offensive side of things, how long do you think it'll be before you could put together like a full offense in terms of plays?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. We have a 10-day install that we're doing. 2 of those days are review days, so really 8 days of installation. I kind of want to hold to it and do it so we can see what it is that they do well and what our identity is going to be. But I think the big challenge is once we're done with that, like after 10 days, we're going to have to really focus it to what we can do, what our offensive line's good at, what our quarterback can do, what our playmakers can do. And the same for defense. I think that's the key is, not giving them too much. We want them to be able to understand, especially early in the season, understand what it is they can do so they can play fast and with confidence and, win more with technique and fundamentals than scheme.
What's kind of the process for deciding a starting quarterback, and maybe do you have a starting quarterback you can say right now after one practice?
Oh, we never name a starting quarterback this early, but they go out and compete. They all get a lot of reps. That's one thing that we like to do in practice is give all the quarterback reps and see where they're at. And I thought they did a pretty good job. Mostly today, Jaden and Dalton and Jake Van Dyne took the reps. The guys that are either in quarantine or not ready to get reps right now. So those were the 3 guys that got the majority of the reps. And I thought Jaden did a good job. He missed some stuff in the run game that he's got to understand that as a quarterback, if you can be 100% right in the run game, it makes the passing game so much easier. So he's been focusing a lot, I think, on learning the progressions and coverages and where do I go. But it's that run game you got to get down and know so you don't make any mistakes on that. That helps you be better as a quarterback. I thought Dalton did a nice job of coming out and leading and made some good throws. And I think Jake Van Dyne has a really talented arm. He can really snap his wrist and spin the ball. And he's got a lot to learn as far as the changes in coverage and how fast it was. I think it was a pretty fast for him today with the pass rush and the receivers and everything. And with reps, the game will slow down for him.
You brought up testing and quarantines. Just what did that kind of look like today? Because it didn't seem like you had your entire team out there.
Yeah, we still have a number of guys that, not a whole lot, but a number of guys that have had a positive test, and really those guys get back quicker than the guys that are living with them or have primary contact because they're on a 14-day quarantine. So that's kind of been the thing we've been dealing with, but I think the thing we did a couple of days ago where we said, hey, let's test all of them. Give them a peace of mind before we actually go out and go against each other helped us a lot. And I'm just very grateful that Kyle and Cliff allowed us to do that.
You talked about how, some of the quarterbacks maybe miss certain parts. You talked about the captain voting and how you want to give them time on the field. So when you have all these guys that have to spend time away from the team as part of that quarantine process or something, just what kind of challenges does that inflict upon you guys and the team not being able to have everyone out there at the same time?
Yeah, that's a big challenge. And I think hopefully we got it going in the right direction where we'll get the guys back on quarantine here within the next 3 or 4 days. And then our guys will do a great job of doing things right outside the building. That's the biggest challenge is that they've got to be disciplined and do things right outside the building. And I know we had a group of guys that felt like they were doing things right. They're all in a room playing video games. They didn't have their masks on and they weren't 6 feet apart. So one guy got sick and I think we had 6 or 7 guys quarantined from there. So we learned that happened a few weeks ago. In fact, those guys are most of them are back now, but there's a lot of learning and things that and it changes all the time. You know, the CDC is changing all the time, and luckily we have head coaches meetings with all the staff and the trainers and doctors, and you know, they inform us of everything weekly. So that's helped a lot too.
And obviously there's been a lot of news, and it's kind of hard probably to, keep your guys, or tell them not to look at it because it's everywhere as far as conferences, deciding to, cancel non-conference games and stuff. And just as you guys are waiting for the Big 12 to make their decision, what are you saying to your guys? Are you telling them, just keep doing what you're doing, or kind of how do you approach that situation?
Yeah, that's another one of those good questions. You know, we were just really excited to get started today, so I didn't even talk about that today. I know about a week ago we talked about the different scenarios that maybe will play out and happen, and you know, at that point we felt like the Big 12 was really wanting to play 12 games, and hopefully they still are, because we would love to be able to play that. And if that doesn't happen, I think then, you know, the FCS got some decisions to make, whether we're going to go, you know, conference only or whatever, however it's going to play out. But I think, you know, that's all yet to be seen. The number one thing we can do is focus on, you know, what we can control and trying to get ready for practice and have fun with it. I think that's the one thing that was enjoyable today, as you looked around and the players were out there having fun and enjoying it.
And if that game is on and you guys are going to be playing at Oklahoma, what are your expectations? What are you guys, looking forward to and hoping for?
Yeah, that's a ways away. So let's hope that it is on. And the best thing that we can do is spend these next 2 weeks really focusing on learning and worrying about going against each other and getting better each day in practice and challenging ourselves and our teammates to get better. And then 2 weeks from now, then we would change our focus and how to start preparing for a game. But right now it's just camp, and there's a lot of hard work to do.
What's the status of Jeremiah Wilson going into this season? I know he's coming off an ACL tear, and it seems to be a guy you've been high on this offseason.
Yeah, he's got tons of talent, and it was fun watching his video from years past. And he's been out on the field some. He has not been at full speed or released to do full speed drills yet.
One of the big pieces of news today was the St. Louis Cardinals having more positive tests, having to shut down for a bit, with Major League Baseball operating on kind of a similar system of teams having to travel, fewer people and more resources. Does that give you kind of any concern moving forward into fall about what might happen when your team's having to travel around?
Yeah, I think it's all a concern. You know, one of the last meetings that we had is the Valley head coaches. The first thing they brought up were the Marlins. You know, so everybody's keeping an eye on what's going on in the country and what things are changing. And, you know, hopefully that things start changing for the best. But I think that the understanding is that there are going to be some positive tests, is because that's part of dealing with it and living with it, and, you know, seeing if we can make it all work. You know, I think it's still an unknown.
You brought up fear for some of the guys earlier. Has anybody said that they're not going to play this season because of COVID and everything?
No, we haven't had anybody that's really said that, but, you know, we've had open discussions and guys that are, you know, have certain concerns, and with coaches that have certain concerns. You know, I've got some guys on our staff that families have, you know, issues, health issues, that if they were to get COVID, that wouldn't be a good deal. And so it's kind of all of us, you know. One thing I said to them all is I'm the oldest guy on the staff, so I certainly don't want to get it, that's for sure. But I am lucky that I've hired young staff. I think that helps us a lot. I know my brother's staff, he's got some older guys on it, and I think he might have one or two of them that aren't coaching.
Well, just personally for you today, you had a year off last year. It's been a long time since you were able to get out there on the field and coach. Just kind of what was that like for you personally?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed every minute being out there and teaching and instructing, and, you know, watching guys smile when they made plays, and, you know, watching guys shake their head when they thought they were going to make it and they didn't. And I think one of the funnest things about coaching is to watch young guys have success and do something that you said, hey, if we do this, it'll work and we can make it happen. And then they do it in practice and they, have a smile on their face and feel good about it.
I'm curious, obviously you've had a lot of first day of practices in your career, but just how much with this one feel different? You got to pull your mask down anytime you want to blow a whistle or yell at someone. Just how did it feel just compared to years previous?
A lot of them. So you're saying I'm old, huh?
I didn't say
My wife
that.
says too, so that's okay. But this is a unique one. There's no question about that. To have a mask on and, I try to stay away from guys too. I've been doing that since we went into the first quarantine, that when someone walks up on me, I start backpedaling. I never did play defensive back, but I feel like I could do it better now than I could then because I've learned how to backpedal and get away from and keep my social distancing. But it's unique. It's different. And the mask on the players, I thought they did a great job with it. They're not ideal. That's not how we're going to end up. We've got cloth ones coming. We were able to get some information shared in the head coaches meetings from North Dakota State. So we have those ordered. They'll be a lot better and easier for our players to be able to see. There are a couple of receivers I think dropped balls today. They might not have saw the ball just because of the fogginess in the shield that goes on there. But it's all for safety, and I think our players dealt with it very well.
And what a transition, I guess, to Missouri State coming in and, new program, new coach, and then you're like, all right, well, kind of have to wait to practice, and it's kind of weird,
Yeah, definitely. We were so looking forward to spring football, and now that seems like a year ago, and it's been different with the Zoom meetings, nobody around, and then being able to have them come back and do voluntary workouts. But really, we weren't around them. When they did voluntary workouts, we only saw them on Zoom meetings. So it's been very strange. But I think the players, are very dedicated and are really working hard to see if we can get this to work out.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you on a busy day.
Okay. Thank you. You guys have a great one.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
Have us out there soon.